I said this was the way it was going to happen, and now it's happening. Now rush to draw attention to all the ways MAGA Republicans are finding out. We cannot forget that Donald Trump has only barely begun to fuck around, and yet the consequences are already piling up. You hear the bells? The red wedding procession has begun. We're only 1 month into his presidency, and his tariff-driven inflation anxiety is already hitting the housing market, with concern from builders, consumers, and the Federal Reserve pushing the housing market index to 42. Anything under 50 is considered negative growth. 42 is 5 points lower than it was at this time last year under Biden. His tariffs aren't only hitting raw building materials. They're also hitting things like appliances, furniture, paint, and hardware. All the things people spend money on as soon as they get a new home. Now all of these things are getting more expensive because of Trump. This is just a glimpse of the housing market. Only 32% of independent voters approve of Trump's federal layoffs, and those layoffs haven't even hit the unemployment rate yet. Along with the GDP damage from his trade war and the drop in consumer confidence we'll see that comes from all of these things together, you can see why Trump's economic approval rating has already dropped to 39%, which is lower than at any point in his first term. And these are just numbers. We're only barely starting to see the actual real-world consequences of his layoffs. On top of what he's done to the FAA, you're going to see new problems in food safety, medical research, environmental health problems, more extreme wildfires, and longer, more painful recovery after natural disasters. I feel compelled to say that none of the liberals I know wanted any of this, but it's happening anyway, and very soon it will be impossible for Trump to paper over. When those notoriously fickle swing voters come around looking for explanations, the Republican House, the Republican Senate, the Republican White House, and the Republican Supreme Court will have no one left to blame.